Hi, it's Ed Oakley, and I'm back with you for our first in our series, and who knows how many will be in this series, that are leading up to developing our book on personal leadership. Now, I want to mention to you that these are going to be very casual. So I'm going to dress casually. I'm going to sit, in this case, I decided a fireplace in our little mountain retreat, and I may very well create the same kind of a family room kind of environment at the office or perhaps at home to do some of these as well. So it'll be very, very informal, so expect that if you would. So the first thing I want to talk about is an idea that has meant a huge amount to my career. When I was first growing up, and I think all of us, this is true, we kind of naturally migrate towards certain people and migrate away from other people. You know, we are attracted to some people as friends, and other people we don't tend to relate to. Now, part of that, I think, has to do with their basic personality or behavioral style. Now, personality has a lot of baggage associated with it, so I'm gonna stick to the terminology behavioral style. We have numerous different behavioral styles. Every single person is individual and unique and a blend of different characteristics. But there are some basic behavioral styles that you can look at and learn and see distinctions in. And when we're growing up, it's you know, we can make those choices. We can make the decision that, well, I'm comfortable around this person. I'd like to be friendly with this person. I'm not comfortable with this person. I don't want to spend time with them. But let's suppose you find yourself one day in a situation where you would like to provide leadership. You would like to be able to influence the situation, whether it is home, your community, neighborhood, church, synagogue, or mosque, or a not-for-profit kind of volunteer situation that you're in, or perhaps a sports team that you're on, and of course at work as well. Well, in that scenario, you can't just decide, well, I'm going to work to influence these people and I'm going to ignore these other people. Making a decision to step up to leadership is a decision to influence all the key people involved in the scenario. So we can no longer just pick and choose those people that we choose to work with. Now, when I was first promoted to manager at Hewlett-Packard, I found myself very naturally. Now, being first promoted to manager, first of all, I was very challenged. It was a very different scenario than the independent contributor that I'd been up to that point. You know, suddenly these same people that I worked with are now working for me, if you will. And these people didn't all have the same behavioral style. They had different personalities. And what I found myself doing kind of naturally is I migrated to spending more time and energy with some of the people, those I best related to, and kind of spend less and less time kind of ignoring those people as much as possible that I didn't relate to as well. Well, that's not very good leadership. Number one, it's not fair to those people I'm not giving the attention to. And guess what? You could see the difference in performance. Well, fortunately, this did not go on too long before Hewlett-Packard, in their natural training progression, realized that new managers need to have a course to really look and understand behavioral styles. And they need to understand their own behavioral style. They need to be able to pick out other behavioral styles, and they need to understand the importance of adapting their style to work more effectively with others. Now see, it is my responsibility, the leadership role is my responsibility, so it is my responsibility then to adapt to the style of others. So that was very, very powerful. And of all of my 12 years at Hewlett-Packard and all the training I had going all the way from the bottom rung all the way up into the executive ranks, that was the most important course I ever took, and the one that stuck with me the longest. And so I want to suggest that is a really key piece of leadership, is being able to understand different behavioral styles and know what you need to do differently to better influence each of the different basic kinds of styles. So we had that class, and there are 4 things that were really key in that class. Number 1 is the importance of honoring all the behavioral styles. There is no best behavioral style, I assure you. All kinds of studies will, perhaps you'll see that a certain kind of job tends to be oriented to a certain behavior more than others. On the other hand, behaviors are something we can also adapt. And so you'll find people with all kinds of behaviors in all kinds of different jobs because they can adapt their behaviors. But it is important to honor all the styles. Every one of the behavioral styles, whether you break them up into just simple 4 quadrants, 4 different styles, or 64 different styles, no matter what kind of segmentation you do, what you'll find is every one of those styles has some unique advantages, some significant strengths, and each one of them also has its limitations. So ideally, in a team environment, what do you have? You're going to have people with a number of kind of all the styles covered, if you will, so that we can get all aspects of the work done in a general area of work, if you will. Okay. So the first thing is to honor all the styles. The second thing is to understand your own style. Really know yourself. Be aware, be very consciously aware of your style in as much detail as you can. That's going to be really important. And also understanding the strengths of your style and the limitations of your style, because there are both. And you'll want to be completely aware of those. And because of wanting to get as much detail as possible, the ideal thing there is to take a valid, solid assessment, some kind of a behavioral assessment. And we're going to make that available to you free in the book. And while we're creating the book through these videos, we're also going to make it free to you as well. At least one person in each organization. There's a limit to how many we can just give away for free. There is a cost there. So that's the first piece, is understanding yourself to as much and thoroughly as you can. Secondly is, actually that is the second thing. The first thing is honor all behavioral styles. The second thing is understand your own behavioral style and your strengths and limitations. The third is how to understand how to recognize other behavioral styles, how to distinguish different behavioral styles from each other. That's a very important skill to develop, and it does take developing this particular skill. And by doing that, then the fourth thing you can do, and that is to learn how do you adapt your style to better fit, to better communicate in the short term to someone else. Long term, you don't want to keep adapting all the time, just totally 100% of your life adapting your style. That's very stressful. But you go to a 5-minute meeting with a person, and you know what their style is, you adapt to their style, you're going to have a much more effective communication. And the relationship is going to be more effective, and their performance is going to be more effective as a result. So those are the four things: honoring all the behavioral styles, learning what yours is extensively, and what those strengths and limitations of yours are, understanding how to recognize other people's behavioral styles, and learn what to do temporarily to adapt to their styles to have more effective communication and therefore better performance. So how important is this concept to you? How important has it been to your career? What mistakes have you made by not paying attention to it or not being aware of it? Where have you had successes in utilizing these concepts? I'd love to have your thoughts put down in the notes below, in your comments below. And in your comments, if you'll put down a comment, and then what we will do is, as a result of that, one person per organization, please. But you'll put down a comment of some kind, a significant comment, please. Then we'll make available to you, we'll get back to you with a way to take an online assessment that will give you extensive information about your particular behavioral style. And until next time, thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.